r/AskReddit, what quietly went away without anyone noticing? 3D TVs. Actual toys in cereal boxes and Cracker Jack boxes. Taco Bell used to have a Chihuahua as their mascot. Little dude just disappeared one day, and anyone born after 2000 probably doesn't even know what I am talking about. Stumble upon. I remember all my classmates and my mom used to use it years ago. Movie trailers with that deep voice guy doing the voiceovers. Buying a new game and having a thick chunky manual filled with game lore which you would read before playing and so heighten the anticipation of the game itself. McDonald's all-day breakfast menu. The net neutrality thingy. So, Ronald McDonald. Too many people are petrified of clowns. Ownership. We used to pay money and then the thing actually belonged to us. Now everything is rented or leased. Everything is sold as a service. Music as a service. Movies as a service. Software as a service. Even printer ink as a service. We spend and spend, and in the end we hold nothing in our hands. Edit. You can also subscribe to clothes. Wear new clothes every month but never own them. You can also subscribe to cars. Clothes as a service, cars as a service. I think people have noticed now, but at the time, nobody noticed it was happening. 24-hour stores. I live in a major city and we don't have a single 24-hour grocery store ever since the pandemic. Acid rain. It was a huge environmental issue in the late 70s through the early 90s. Rain was acidic and damaged fertile areas among other things. In the US there was much research done and eventually industrial regulations were put into place. Companies were allowed to decide what approach they chose to take as long as the results showed the appropriate amount of reduction in sulfur dioxide emissions. Unfortunately, positive news doesn't sell, so news outlets did not do justice to reporting this success. As we went into the 2000s, hardly anyone remembered what was done. Edit. Thank you for the upvotes and the awards. My cousin from any family party he ever came to. He was the master of the quiet exit. He would show up, make sure he said hello to everyone, maybe carry a beer around, and then it was like "Where's Rich?" every dang time. He passed away quietly last summer. Rip Rich. Picture-in-picture TVs. Service clubs. E.g. the Rotary, the Lions, the Shriners. Oh, they're still around. But a common complaint among them is they've got no members under 70 and no new members are lining up to get in. Edit. The number one question seems to be, what the hell are these, anyways? They're social clubs with the primary objective to be doing projects to better the community. They might raise money to build a new playground, a new hospital, for scholarships, stuff like that. They raise money for stuff. Google+. Facebook poke wars. Politicians feeling ashamed when they're caught lying. Waterbeds. The American chestnut tree. We sing chestnuts roasting over an open fire every year and yet never question why we have no chestnuts. All the chestnut trees are dead is why, you see. That class for keyboard typing and stuff. When you turn off the TV, how the image would shrink to a dot before slowly fading away. Anyone remember spinning rims on cars? HQ trivia. Murder hornets. Gautier and LMFAO. The word cyberspace. I want to know WTF happened to my salsa verde Doritos. Jack Nicholson. Landlines in residences. The jacks are still in almost any house, but I rarely see anything plugged in anymore. The only people I can think of with them are all over 60. Shelly Miskovich. Planking. Roflo dropped off of the face of the planet and now we just go straight from LOL to LMAO. Free samples. I used to see free sample stands every time I went to a store, now they are gone. I now realize, from all the comments, that Costco apparently still has them. Flash mobs. BlackBerry phones. Taylor Lautner. Raspberry Brisk apparently, but I noticed PepsiCo. I'm not bitter about it. Edit, you have all given me hope I will taste this heavenly juice once again. Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Anti-marijuana commercials. Telephone books. The Sears Wish Book. Panama Papers. Ringtones. Jay-Z said no more and they were done. Public spaces where you have a reasonable expectation that you are not being filmed. The damn TV remote, stand up, you're probably sitting on it. Shin v. Martinez Ramirez, the Supreme Court ruling that reversed the 2012 Martinez v. Ryan ruling that protected the right to a fair trial in cases where ineffective assistance of counsel could be argued to have resulted in guilty verdicts that land innocent people on death row. Arizona took a case to the Supreme Court to challenge this, with the state's counsel stating over and over again that innocence is not enough to overturn cases. The Supreme Court agreed with this. In Clarence Thomas's decision ruling, he states that federal courts lack the competence and authority to relitigate a state's criminal case. So yeah, this ruling not only negates the Supreme Court's previous ruling, it removes remedies for defendants that have not been provided with adequate representation during their trials and afterwards. Basically, it's now up to the defendants to challenge their own counsel's competence during the trial and removes any possibility for ineffective assistance claims to be raised in federal court. Traveler's checks. 1 income supporting a family. Quality of life. I used to be so social. Until I realized I could just disappear without anyone noticing. So I experimented. Nobody ever noticed. iPod and other MP3 players. Sierra Mist. I saw the replacement brand in stores last week, but until I read the press release the other day I had no idea Pepsi had discontinued Sierra Mist at all. Wallpaper. It used to be everywhere, but at some point we as a society seem to have come to an unspoken agreement to just stop using it. Which is fine by me, honestly. It was a pain in the ass to put up and even more of a pain to take down. Skype. The uproar around devices always listening. Xbox One Kinect was an uproar and now you pretty much can't buy a device that isn't always listening. 3D Doritos. Flash games without in-game purchase. Hoverboards. Amazon Prime 2-day shipping. Sure, it says 2-day when you order it Monday and then it says it'll be there Friday. 2 means 2. The bugs on the front of grills after road trips. The old social media format. Today is everything just like TikTok. People calling them camera phones. Payphone booths. Travis Scott concert death controversy. Anyone remember playing with Pogs? Alicia Silverstone. She was in everything in the late 90s, then she was gone. Yo-yos, they were all the rage back in my school as a kid and they just disappeared overnight. Nobody even noticed it was just a fad that died. Beanie Babies. Mike Myers. Dude was a huge star, and now he's barely in anything. In the 80s there was a big push to get rid of styrofoam packaging, especially at fast food places. And it worked for like 30-ish years, but now it's back. So business ethics. LOL, at least the guilt around styrofoam. Online privacy. HTC One smartphones. Quality kids meal toys. OGs will remember the awesome MCDs or Burger King toys we'd get, like many video games, Legos, and Transformers. We even would get CDs sometimes. An ancient and lost technology to some of you younger kids. Now my son gets cardboard or those bobblehead, Funko Pop wannabes. Monkeypox. Coney 2012. Your purchasing power. Kmart and Sears. I can't remember her name, but I believe her last name was Jo. She was one of the top decision makers for Reddit. She was explaining that Reddit would never implement ads into their feed and she was being praised for it. Less than 5 years later. Answering machines. Those black plastic bases on 2-liter soda bottles. That was always a grade school Easter basket craft when I was growing up, and then poof, dashing away. TCBY. My savings account. Knowing Kilroy had been here. CD players in cars. Howard Johnson's restaurants. Q drops. Apple bottom jeans. Boots with the fur. Occupy movement. Richard Simmons. Pager's pager. Not the restaurant kind. Glare screens for monitors. Acid rain. Google Glasses. My dad when I was a kid. Butterflies, I saw them all the time growing up, and now it's an event if I see one. Fidget spinners. More Ritz crackers. Blueberry morning cereal bowl with spoon crying face. Altoid sours. Those tangerine ones hit different. Fear of COVID. Biden, I did that stickers on gas pumps after prices fell. Cars that are stranded / abandoned on the side of the highway. I used to notice them all the time when I was a kid. They seem to all but disappear after cell phones. It's really rare now, and it sticks out when you see it. Not being watched, measured, and monitored 24/7. When we were alone, we were alone. In a good, relaxing, calming kind of way. Before we were bombarded by Pavlov rings and notifications every waking moment. It was good. There were times it was really good. Regular street lights with the old yellow bulbs. It's like every single one turned to LED overnight. It sucks because at least with the yellow bulb ones they were warm and welcoming. The bright bluish white LEDs make everything look cold and soulless. Pet rocks. They don't say much. Kobe Bryant's rape charge. Dude went from rapist back to media darling in a heartbeat. I personally don't have anything against him, but especially after his tragic passing no one ever mentions that aspect of his legacy. Disposable cameras. Ice bucket challenges. Zika virus. The dog from the Target commercials. Face-eating bath salt people. The American middle class. We notice now that it's too late and all the unions have been shredded. Cursive writing. Being able to afford a home on a normal job with a HS diploma. It went away so quietly that boomers still think this is the reality while being the ones who fucked it up for the rest of us. Ashtrays and cigarette lighters in cars. Family encyclopedia sets. Rolodexes. Pantyhose. Pagers and answering machines. Checkbooks and checkbook registers. My bank account. Didn't Matt Gaetz pay a minor for sex? Whatever happened to that whole situation? Silly bands. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.